Let the house please be in order. Please stand this morning as we are led in prayer by the gentleman from Harrison, Representative Hullum, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Gentleman from Harrison.
Good morning. Every day may not be a good day, but there's good in every day. Life is a matter of perspective. Please pray with me. Oh God, as you lead us at the beginning of another day, as we strive to remain in the will of your armor, Lord, continue to bring us together while we do the work of the people, through you and by you. Lord, come into our presence, come into our heart, make us whole, make us unified. We're no different, Lord, because we all look to you and we all follow you. Lord, you're the Alpha and Omega. Lord, look after the people that's at home right now. Lord, take care of the people that's in the wilderness. Lord, touch us, our lawmakers. Touch the law enforcement community, our military community. Lord, soften the heart of the heartstrings of the people which guides not just this nation but this world. Lord, bring people back into the fold. Lord, unity is the key to all things. Lord, we ask you now to take the scales from our eyes and let us see clearly for the brothers and sisters that we are collected here today. Lord, as we do your work and we do your will, because by you all things are done, we continue to give you the praise, we give you the glory, and we give you the honor. In Jesus' name we thank you, we praise you. Amen. Amen. Attention, pledge, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Close the machine, Madam Clerk.
There's a quorum present, Mr. Speaker.
We will have the reading of the journal. Gentleman from Rankin, Representative Powell, moves we dispense with the reading of the journal. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Report of select committees.
We have none, Mr. Speaker.
Report of standing committees.
We have reports on the calendar, Mr. Speaker.
Introduction of bills and constitutional amendments. Gentleman from Marion, Mr. Morgan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent to dispense with the reading of the introductions.
Is there objection to this? Hearing none, Mr. Clerk, we will follow that procedure. Resolutions, petitions, memorials, and other papers.
We have none, Mr. Speaker.
Introduction of guests and visitors. Gentleman from Bolivar, Mr. Sanders.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask the ladies and gentlemen of the House, if you will, let's help make welcome some of my distinct constituents from the historical city of Mound Bayou, Mississippi. Nikisha Phillips, Trina Robinson, Lashika Bell, Linda Franklin, Diana Sanders, Deborah Brown, Robin Johnson, Martha Black, and Tanya Hall. Well, let's help make them welcome, please.
Gentleman from Lowndes, Mr. Boyd.
Introduction?
Yes, sir.
Friend of mine in the North Gallery, Brian Clark from Fort County, Pioneer Electric. I'm going to grow my hair just like that for next year.
All right. It's quite a change, gentlemen. Gentleman from Alcorn, Mr. Maddox.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the North Gallery, I have two ladies, Alicia Knight and Miss Shirley Wright. They work for Aiming for Healthy Families. They serve Alcorn, Tippa, Prentice, Tishomingo, Lee, Pontotoc, and Itawamba, and they do a good job at what they do. So make them welcome, please.
Welcome. Gentleman from Holmes, Mr. Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, in the South Gallery, on behalf of the Yazoo County delegation, we have three individuals from Dream Invocation Incorporated, a nonprofit there in Yazoo City, Ms. Ramona Delaware, Ms. Angie Kirkland, and Mr. Terry Mays. Let's welcome them to their capital.
Welcome. Gentleman from Montgomery, Mr. Oliver.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would join me in the South Gallery. We have our friends here with Camp Kamasa. If you would please stand, we have with us Miss Tanya Mohawk, and she represents our lovely camp down in South Mississippi, and we're just glad to have y'all with us. Please help make them welcome.
Welcome, ladies. Gentleman from Benton, Mr. Massengill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, in North Gallery, we have Northeast Mississippi Power Association, Marlon Williams, and a group with him. Would y'all make them welcome?
Welcome. Lady from DeSoto, Miss Remat.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House, please make welcome Michael Belladini from North Central Electric Cooperative. He's in the North Gallery. Good to see you, Michael.
Gentleman from Panola, Mr. Hawkins.
Mr. Speaker, please join me in welcoming Brad Robinson and Earl Gibson from TV EPA out of Batesville.
Welcome, gentlemen. Gentleman from Pike, Mr. Porter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, in South Gallery, I have a good friend of mine, Mr. Kerry Nash. Please make him feel welcome.
Gentleman from Capaya, Mr. Holloway.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, if you would join me in welcoming in the South Gallery a longtime friend and homegirl of mine. She hailed from down I-55 where the grass is greener, the air is cleaner, the sky is blue, and the sugar is sweeter. Miss Elois Thomas. Help make her welcome.
Lady from Pontotoc, Miss Waldo.
Please join me in welcoming Pontotoc Electric Power Association General Manager Frankie Mormon, top row center. Glad to have you, Frankie.
Welcome, gentlemen. I recognize the Vice Chairman of Rules.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to go to the rules calendar, and I'd like to call up items 1, 2, 3, and 4, House Resolution number 12, House Resolution number 40, House Resolution number 44, and 46. And Mr. Speaker, I'd like to ask that they be passed in a block.
I'll give the members just a second to see if anyone wishes to set one aside. If not, gentleman's motion is to take those up in block. I hear no objections. Does that conclude your explanation, gentlemen?
Yes, sir, Mr. Speaker. I move final passage.
Gentleman moves adoption of these resolutions in block. If you favor the resolutions, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The resolutions are adopted. Anything further, Mr. Chairman?
And Mr. Speaker, if there's no objection, I'd like to ask for immediate release on all of those resolutions.
All right. Is there objection? Hearing none, we will follow that procedure. Gentlemen from Holmes, I believe our special guests are here as it pertains to House Resolution 46, item number 4 we just passed. Gentleman from Pearl River is going to bring them in. Our galleries are packed, so he's just going to line them up right here across the front. So we're going to suspend business for about 2 minutes to get them in here, and then the gentleman from Pearl River will welcome our special guest. Thank you, gentlemen from Holmes.
They can line up all along the front and block these kids right here if they want. Yeah, they're fine standing in front of them. Yeah. Y'all just look that way, okay, boys? Y'all can stand behind me. There you go. Okay. Yeah, y'all stand around me.
All right, I recognize, please give the gentleman your attention for our special guest. I recognize the gentleman from Pearl River.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the House. I'd ask you all to give a warm welcome to the Poplarville High School football team. Back in December, they accomplished a very important feat that they've been working towards for several years. They won the Class 4A High School State Championship game in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So it's my honor to stand before you today as we gather to celebrate their tremendous victory and honor them for everything they put into not only that game, but several games and several appearances at the championship without winning. Finally, they brought home the trophy to Poplarville. So we honor them. We honor the staff, we honor the coaches. Not only did they win on the field, but they won in the hearts of the people of Poplarville, and we gather here to celebrate their victory. A few moments ago, we passed House Resolution 46, which becomes a permanent part of the public record in this chamber, honoring the football players and the coaching staff at the Poplarville High School football team. So please give them a warm applause as we congratulate them for their victory and their historic accomplishment. All right, boys, if y'all want to go out, we'll go out in front of the building and take a cold picture.
Congratulations, gentlemen, on a great year. You represented your school, your families, and your community very well. You're to be commended for that. Congratulations. All right, we will go back to the calendar, appropriations calendar. I recognize the chairman, gentleman from Jackson. You're recognized, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the House. Today, for your consideration, we have the first House action of the House originated appropriations bill. During the 2024 session, we issued the largest budget in the state's history, approximately $7.030 billion. In December of 2024, the Joint Legislative Committee adopted the legislative budget recommendation which recommends a general fund expenditure of $7,024 million. The legislative budget recommendation includes health insurance premium increase and PERS. The legislative budget recommendation primarily reduced 1,722 vacant positions in agencies and eliminated one-time funding for projects. The amount of the legislation before you today primarily represents the amount reflected in the LBO recommendations. Any change in the LBR will be noted. At this time, I will recognize the gentleman from Neshoba, the chairman of Appropriations Committee B, to commence explaining the bills. I recognize the gentleman from Neshoba.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, if you could go to item number 5 on your appropriations calendar. This is House Bill 1726. I'll call it up and make the usual motion.
Gentleman calls the bill up, moves the rules be suspended. The bill considered engrossed, read the third time, and placed on final passage. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. You're recognized, gentlemen, to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, we had a simple committee amendment to House Bill 1726. It simply removed lines 67 through 70 of the original bill. It's just cleanup language that was included in last year's appropriation to ensure that the technicians and the rangers with the Mississippi Forestry Commission that desperately needed raises last year got them, and that raises for higher end salaries were not funded. Monies for those raises are in this appropriation bill this year, but there's no new money for any new salary increases. So this amendment just simply takes out that language from last year, and that's the amendment to the bill before we get to the final passage of the bill, Mr. Speaker.
All right, does that conclude your explanation on the amendment?
Yes.
Questions on the amendment? I don't see any. Question occurs on the adoption of Amendment 1. If you favor the amendment, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Anything further on the bill, gentlemen?
Yeah, 1726, ladies and gentlemen of the House, as Chairman Reed explained. This is the appropriation for the Forestry Commission. It does include, it comes in at LBR, but it does include health insurance and PERS, and there are no reductions in the actual dollars from the LBR. And if there's no questions, I move adoption of the bill.
Questions on the bill? I don't see any, gentlemen.
Move final passage.
He moves final passage. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote 118 yeas, 0 nays, the bill passes. Next item, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I'd like to go to items 1. And this is on the appropriations calendar. Items 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17, and move that we take them up in block.
Does any member wish to have any of these items set aside? I'll give you a minute to look. I see no one seeking recognition, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, as the previous bill, all of these come in at LBR with the PERS and the health insurance increases included. And in none of these, there are no reductions in the dollars from the LBR. And if no questions, I move adoption of these numbers noted in the block.
Questions on the bills? I don't see any, gentlemen.
Move adoption of those in the block, Mr. Speaker.
He moves final passage. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the bills, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 118 yeas, 0 nays, bills pass.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Recognize the gentleman from Lafayette, the chairman of Appropriation C.
Gentleman from Lafayette is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chairman, before I do get started, I must have been asleep at the wheel during introductions. In the North Gallery, I have my realtor friends, Amy Collins, Erica Hewlett, and the two that run my office, Liza Frugier and Carla Davis up here. Please make them welcome.
Welcome, ladies.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to go to item 20, House Bill 1741, call it up and make the usual motions.
Gentleman calls the bill up, moves the rules be suspended, the bill considered engrossed, read the third time, and placed on final passage. All in favor say aye. Opposed no. The ayes have it. Gentlemen, you're recognized to explain the bill.
This is the Department of Health's budget. Everything's LBR. As the chairman said, we're taking care of PERS and insurance. The only change that I made in here is we added $4 million to the burn fund. It was set at $1 million. There's some more funds that are going in there, so we're just raising the cap on that so that Dr. Edney can get those funds out. If there are no questions, move for final passage.
Questions on the bill? I don't see any, gentlemen. He moves final passage. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 118 yeas, 0 nays, the bill passes. Sorry, gentlemen. Lady from Madison, Ms. Ford.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like for you to direct your attention to the North Gallery and help me make welcome our one and only Chief of Staff, Clark Wise's lovely wife, Julia Wise. Where are you, Julia? Will you please stand up? Thank you. Welcome. My constituent.
Don't forget it, lady. Gentlemen, you're recognized for further work.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to take items 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, and 34. Move to call them up in a block.
Chairman moves to call those up in block. Does any member have an item they wish to set aside and not be in the block? Gentleman from Tallahatchie, Mr. Rosebud.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Item number 21, please.
That item again, gentlemen. Which item?
21.
Mr. Speaker, I'm being told I missed item 18. I need to include that in the block as well.
You want item 18 included in the block, gentlemen?
Please.
All right. So that's items 18 through 34 with the exception of item 21, as well as 20, which you've already passed. Gentleman from Warren, Mr. Ford.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 23, House Bill 1744, and set it aside.
All right.
Yeah, I'm coming.
I see no further one seeking I'm sorry. Gentleman from Marshall, Mr. Faulkner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to set aside item number 18, please.
Okay, I see no one else seeking recognition. We will set aside that item as well, gentlemen. Gentlemen, you're recognized for further explanation of these in block, if there is one.
Again, same explanation. This is LBR, taking care of insurance and PERS increases. Everything else is at LBR. That's an explanation.
Questions on any of these bills? I don't see any, gentlemen.
Move for final passage.
He moves final passage. Open machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the bills, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote 118 yeas, 0 nays, the bills pass. Next item, gentlemen.
I'd like to go back to item 18, House Bill 1739, call it up, make the usual motions.
I'm sorry, gentlemen, before we get there. Gentleman from Prentice, for what purpose? You're recognized.
Introduction out of order, Mr. Speaker.
You're recognized.
Ladies and gentlemen of the House, would you help me make welcome today one of my good friends and constituents from Saltillo, Mississippi, Mr. Case Knight with TBA.
Welcome, gentlemen. All right, we'll return to the bills. Gentleman had made the usual motion concerning House Bill 1739. He calls the bill up, moves the rules be suspended, the bill considered engrossed, read a third time, placed on final passage. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Gentlemen, you're recognized to explain the bill.
Again, same action here, LBR, insurance, and PERS. That's an explanation. Yield for questions.
Questions on the bill? I don't see any, gentlemen.
Move for final passage.
He moves final passage. Open machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 118 yeas, 0 nays, the bill passes. Next item, gentlemen.
I'd like to go to item 21, House Bill 1742, call it up and make the usual motions.
Gentleman calls the bill up, moves the rules be suspended, the bill considered engrossed, read the third time, and placed on final passage. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. You recognize, gentlemen, to explain the bill.
Same explanation, LBR, increase for PERS and insurance. That's an explanation.
Questions on the bill? I don't see any, gentlemen.
Move for final passage.
He moves final passage. Open machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 117 yeas, 0 nays, the bill passes. Next item, gentlemen.
I'd like to go to item 23, House Bill 1744, call it up, make the usual motions.
Gentleman calls the bill up, moves the rules be suspended, the bill considered engrossed, read the third time, and placed on final passage. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. You recognize, gentlemen, to explain the bill.
Same explanation, LBR, PERS, and insurance increases. That's an explanation.
Questions on the bill? I don't see any, gentlemen.
Move for final passage.
He moves final passage. Open machine, Madam Clerk. You favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 111 yeas, 0 nays, the bill passes. Anything further, gentlemen?
That's it for appropriation C. I'd like to recognize the gentleman from Pike, appropriations. D.
Gentleman from Rankin, Mr. Varner, for what purpose?
Introduction out of order.
You're recognized.
Mr. Speaker. We have, with the Food Network, Mississippi Food Network, we have Cass Mobley, which is one of my, you would stand right there, she's one of my people from Florence, but she is with the Food Network, so I just want to welcome her to our capital. So, thank you.
Welcome. Gentleman from Washington, Mr. Hines.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Introduction.
You're recognized.
Thank you. On behalf of the Washington County delegation, we'll have some visitors here from Twin County Electric Co-op sitting in South Gallery. If you please help make them welcome today in the gallery.
Welcome. Gentleman from Pike, Mr. Porter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Introduction out of order.
You're recognized.
Ladies and gentlemen of the House, in the North Gallery, we have the North Pike High School Legacy Club. It's a club that is dedicated to civics, and they want to take an active role in our community, state, and country. Please make them feel welcome.
Welcome to your capital. Good to have y'all here today. All right, gentlemen from Pike, we'll recognize you for further appropriation work.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, we'd like to go to items 35 through 45. And as the other chairman did, I'd make a motion, Mr. Speaker, that we vote on these as in a block, Mr. Speaker. 35 through
I'll give the members a
45.
chance that they would wish to set any of these items aside before we call them up in block. Give them a chance real quick to look. I see no one seeking recognition, gentlemen. I'll give Madam Clerk a chance. She says we're good. Gentlemen, calls the bills up, moves the rules be suspended. The bills considered engrossed, read a third time, and placed on final passage. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. You're recognized, gentlemen, for any further explanation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. These bills are, like the other chairman have mentioned, they are at LBR plus insurance and PERS, and that is the explanation of the bill, Mr. Speaker.
All right, questions on any of these? I don't see any, gentlemen.
Yes, sir, Mr. Speaker. I move final passage.
He moves final passage. Open machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 116 yeas, 0 nays, the bills pass. Anything further, gentlemen?
No, sir, Mr. Speaker. Will you please recognize the gentleman from Montgomery, Chairman of Appropriation E?
Gentleman from Montgomery, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if I could call up item number 46, House Bill 1767. Item 47, House Bill 1768, item 48, House Bill 1769, and item 49, House Bill 1770. I'd like to take these four appropriation bills up in a block if there's no objection.
Gentleman from DeSoto, for what purpose?
I'd like you to hold item number 48, 1769 out.
You'd like that one set aside, gentlemen? Gotcha. Gentleman from Jones, Mr. Scoggin.
Yes, sir, Mr. Speaker. Just made to ask if we would hold number 47 to the side.
All right. I see no one else seeking recognition. We will call those two up in block, I guess. Is that correct, gentlemen?
That would be correct, Mr. Speaker.
Items 46 and 49. All right. Any further explanation on those bills?
Mr. Speaker, these are just like every other appropriation bill. They come in at LBR with adjustments for insurance and PERS adjustments. And that's an explanation of those two bills.
Questions on those two bills? I don't see any. You move final passage?
Move final passage.
He moves final passage. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 118 yeas, 0 nays, the bills pass. Next item, gentlemen.
Mr. Speaker, we go to item number 47, House Bill 1768. Call it up, make the usual motion.
Gentleman calls the bill up, moves the rules be suspended. The bill considered engrossed, read the third time, and placed on final passage. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. You're recognized to explain the bill, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the appropriation for education. This comes in at a $9.9 million increase over our 25. It is also under LBR recommendations. And that's an explanation of the education appropriation.
Questions on the bill? I don't see any, gentlemen.
Move final passage.
He moves final passage. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 116 yeas, 0 nays, the bill passes. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to item 48, House Bill 1769. Call that bill up, make your usual motions.
I'm sorry, gentleman from Lee, Mr. Aguirre, for what purpose?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have an introduction out of order, please.
You're recognized.
Yeah, I would like to introduce our doctors of the day. We have with us Shanda Miller, who is a psychiatrist from Saltillo. She is also the president of the Northeast Mississippi Medical Society, and with her, she has Daniel Sturmer, who is a medical student at Liberty University. Please make them feel welcome.
Gentleman from Washington, Mr. Hines, for what purpose?
Two things, Mr. Speaker. The first one is an introduction out of order. I'd like the House to help make welcome a dear friend of mine for over 45 years who's sitting in North Gallery. Please help make welcome Ms. Charlotte Smith.
Welcome.
And secondly, the last bill, the education bill, I thought I was pushing my button, Mr. Speaker. I didn't get a chance to vote. I'd like to be voted aye.
Item 17, House Bill 1768.
All right.
Record the gentleman's vote. All right, gentlemen, I recognize you. I believe you had called up House Bill 1769. Gentleman calls the bill up, moves the rules be suspended. The bill considered engrossed read the third time and placed on final passage. All in favor say aye. Opposed no. The ayes have it. You recognize, gentlemen, to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is the budget for Educational Television Authority. It comes in at the LBR level of funding of $10,901,632. This is also has adjustments for PERS and health insurance, and that's an explanation of the bill.
Questions on the bill?
Move final passage.
I don't see any, gentlemen. He moves final passage. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 80 yeas, 28 nays, the bill passes. Next item, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to item 50, House Bill 1771. Call it up. Make the usual motions.
Gentleman calls the bill up, moves the rules be suspended. The bill considered engrossed read the third time and placed on final passage. All in favor say aye. Opposed no. The ayes have it. You're recognized to explain the bill, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is the Mississippi Department of Transportation. This appropriation is using LBR's recommendation. It reflects in addition to the pins and reductions in pins that have been applied to the Department of Transportation, this also reflects an additional decrease of $190 million in special fund authority. And ladies and gentlemen, these were funds, one-time money that at the request of the Department of Transportation we removed from their budget. These were projects that were funded. The money's been spent in items such as ERBR and additional multimodal projects. And that's an explanation of the transportation budget. I yield for any questions.
Questions on the bill? I don't see any, gentlemen.
Final passage.
He moves final passage. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 118 yeas, 0 nays, the bill passes. Anything further, Mr. Chairman?
Committee E yields the floor. I'd like to recognize the gentlelady from Amite, Vice Chairman of Appropriation, to handle the next two bills.
Lady from Amite, you're recognized. I'm sorry, gentleman from Tishomingo, Mr. Carpenter. For what purpose?
Mr. Speaker, at the proper time, I'd like to hold a bill on a motion.
All right.
Item number 23, House Bill 1744, on a motion to reconsider for purposes of an amendment.
Please notify the chairman and vice chairman. Lady, I'm sorry, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 51, House Bill 772. Call it up and make the usual motion.
Lady calls the bill up, moves the rules to be suspended. The bill considered engrossed read the third time and placed on final passage. All in favor say aye. Opposed no. The ayes have it. Lady, you're recognized to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, item number 51, House Bill 1772, and the next item are our two deficit appropriation bills. As you know, usually during the session, appropriations has two deficit appropriation bills, and so 1772 is the first one. Section 1 is $0 in general funds to CPS for out-of-state therapeutic placement services. Section 2 is $0 in general funds to CPS for operational expenditures due to the increased number of children in custody and in-home cases. Section 3 is $0 in general funds to the Department of Child Protection Services for temporary placement expenditures. Section 4 is $0 in capital expense funds to the Department of Health for legal expenses related to the Jackson water litigation. Section 5 is $163,000 in special funds to the Office of the State Treasurer for expenses related to the Unclaimed Property Data Match Project. Section 6 makes it effective on July 1st, 2025. Sections 1 through 4 have the $0 amounts as placeholders as we continue to work this bill throughout the session. So the total funds in House Bill 1772 is $163,000 in special funds. And that's an explanation of House Bill 1772, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the bill? I don't see any, lady.
I move final passage, Mr.
She
Speaker.
moves final passage. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 119 yeas, 0 nays, the bill passes. Next item, lady.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 52, House Bill number 1773. Call it up and make the usual motion.
Lady calls the bill up, moves the rules be suspended, the bill considered engrossed, read the third time, and placed on final passage. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. You're recognized, lady, to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 1773 is our second deficit appropriation bill. Section 1 is $156,842 in capital expense funds to the Office of the Attorney General for judgments and settlements. And I have the matters and the amounts if anyone is interested in knowing what those judgment and settlements amounts are and the cases. Section 2 is $995,000 in capital expense funds to the Office of the Attorney General for outside legal counsel and related expenses, and I have those cases and the amounts as well. Section 3 is $0 in general funds to the Department of Corrections for the medical program. It's effective July 1st, 2025. So the total funds are $1,151,842 in capital expense funds. And just as we did in 1773, Section 3 is $0 in general funds for corrections as we continue to work this bill throughout the process. And that's an explanation of House Bill 1773, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the bill? I don't see any, lady.
I move final passage, Mr. Speaker.
She moves final passage. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 113 yeas, 3 nays, the bill passes. Anything further, Mr. Chairman?
Appropriation yields the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All right, I believe that cleans up our calendar. Madam Clerk, do you have announcements? Announcements by the members. Gentleman from Hines, Mr. Nelson, I missed you earlier. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If you can, everybody, please turn over to the South Gallery where I want to introduce some passionate advocates that are here for Mississippi Recovery Day. They fought very hard for our Narcan bill. Thank y'all so much for coming. We appreciate you.
Welcome.
And hey, Ms. Scott over here on the left side.
Now we know why you wore your purple suit today, gentlemen, right?
That's it.
Well played. Gentleman from Neshoba, Mr. Bounds.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've been asked to announce and remind the House membership of the Electric Cooperatives of Mississippi luncheon at the Capitol Club today from 11:30 to 1.
Thank you, gentlemen. Gentleman from Lee, Mr. Aguirre.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to hold item number 1, House Bill 1722 on a motion, please.
House Bill 1722. Please notify the chairman.
I sure will.
Gentleman from Bolivar, Mr. Sanders.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I asked the House to help me make welcome today our president from Delta State University, Dr. Enes.
Welcome, Doc. Good to have you here. All right. I see no one else seeking recognition. I'll entertain the gentleman from Holmes's motion to adjourn until 9 tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to make a motion that the House stand adjourned until 9 a.m. Friday morning.
Gentleman's motion is the House stand adjourned until tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. All in favor of that motion indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The House stand adjourned until 9 a.m. tomorrow.